Speaking of the Paramount deal to buy Warner Brothers, of course, it came to a dramatic conclusion as Paramount finally got off their asses and actually made a bigger offer, to which Netflix immediately said, that's irrational. That makes no sense. That's too much. We're not going to buy Warner Brothers for that much. And they backed out. Now, as soon as they did, there have been a lot of think pieces and articles online about people some of the major outlets too, asking, how exactly is Paramount going to finance this? $110 billion. Want to remind everybody, this is about 30 to 40 billion more than what Disney bought Fox for. 110 billion for this. And so there are a lot of questions. Questions like, some states are already saying they may investigate this and they may kind of block it. International markets may block it. I mean, this is all true of any kind of big merger that happens. So those things could happen. They may not. Maybe Paramount, who one of the main reasons Warner Brothers kept pushing back on their offers, because we don't think you've got your financing in line. That's still a big question. Well, you would think with Paramount now officially being announced as the winner of the sweepstakes to get Warner Brothers, that now it's all about the PR push to make everything look good and perfect and dandy and hit the road for the next 7 to 12 to 14 months to get this thing finished. Or maybe not. This comes to us in a report. Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav just did a town hall meeting with all the Warner Brothers employees. And he kind of floated, quote, it may not close. This deal may not close. And if it doesn't close, Paramount has to give us $7 billion and we get back to work. We go down to the actual quote here. Said this, most intriguingly, Zaslav emphasized that the Paramount WBD deal still requires significant regulatory approval. And as we kind of mentioned before, a lot of people are still questioning how they're going to get these finances all lined up. And the next 6 to 18 months to close, if it closes at all. This is Zaslav's direct quote to Warner Brothers employees. The deal may not close. And if it doesn't close, we get $7 billion and we get back to work. We get $7 billion and we get back to work. Now look, for the record, I think the process is now done. I think Paramount will end up coming through with this. Although I also, our buddy of ours was sending me a lot of financial articles this morning about some of the financial people going, we don't see how Paramount is going to get this money together, but whatever. May actually happen. I do, though, think it is very interesting that on the eve of this massive Hollywood deal, you have one of the two parties in the deal going, it may not happen. It might not. And he doesn't sound all that worried about it. It's like, oh yeah, the deal may not close. If it doesn't, we get $7 billion and we just go back to work. Like, there's no sense of urgency. There's no sense here of him going, like, really selling this. You'd think after making this agreement, as one half of the agreement, you'd be out there going, like, waving the banner and really championing this whole thing. But his message to his own employees is, it may not close. And if it doesn't, like, not, hey, this may not close, so we got to make sure we tighten up. We bolt down every screw, we dot every I, we cross every T. No, he doesn't say that. He says, yeah, this thing may not close. And, well, if it doesn't, we get $7 billion and we just go back to business. Which has some people in certain circles going, is that their actual plan all along? Like if Netflix didn't match? Or get the $7 billion for free from Paramount and then go back to old Ted Sarandos and Netflix and complete the deal they had before? By the way, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm simply sitting here throwing that out as some of the whispers that are going around. Anyway, Rob, I think at the end of the day,
you get nothing for nothing.
Ain't nothing for nothing. I think at the end of the day, this will close. I think it will. Although, like I said, like a lot of other people, I still have some big question marks about how the financing of this is all going to work out. But I think at the end of the day, it'll close. I do find it very curious, though, that the CEO of Warner Brothers, one half of this deal, so flippantly just throwing around to his own employees, maybe it doesn't close and we get $7 billion when we move on. I mean, I don't know. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Harry's. Listen, guys, you know that I'm a tech geek. We live in an age where your phone is basically a handheld supercomputer and your car can now literally park itself. So why are so many of us still using razors that feel flimsy, overpriced, and honestly stuck in 2008? That's exactly why I've leveled up to the new Harry's Plus. When I first picked this thing up, the first thing that I noticed was the weight. It's solid metal, no cheap plastic here. If you want to check it out right now, head over to harrys.com/Campea. Now, what makes the Plus different is the advanced pivoting system that actually reaches every corner of your face. You're getting 3 different blade angles for a clean cut at the root, plus a lubricating strip with aloe and vitamin E to keep your skin calm while you work. No clogging, no middleman, just a great shave. Right now, you can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/Campea. You're getting the new Plus razor, a 5-blade cartridge, their foam shave gel, and a travel cover. It's a risk-free trial, so if you don't love it, they'll make it right. Go to harrys.com/Campea, and when they ask where you heard about them, please tell them we sent you. It really helps support the show. And Rob, by the way, it's still 6 to 18 months for this to go through. Still a lot of regulatory processes to go through, some outside of the United States that have nothing to do. Like I already see some people like when they say, well, the White House is their ally. They listen, there's some non-White House including things here too. I don't know. What do you think about Zaslav's comments, which I think are interesting, and how do you see this shaking out?
I am no financial expert, clearly. But I do think that this entire situation is interesting. And I don't have my head wrapped all the way around it. Like, I really don't understand. It has always seemed to me that the Ellison boys have wanted to acquire Warner Brothers for reasons that are necessarily, they're different than, say, Netflix does. I think they have outside agendas. I think they want to control the flow of information. I think they want to, the news organizations and what they would control, how they've already changed CBS. They've already had to deal with like Barry Weiss and changing the culture at 60 Minutes. And there is definitely a political bent to what they are trying to do, which is absent from Netflix wanting to acquire Warner Brothers. And that, to me, is troublesome. And I have questions that why is this political in nature? And you're dealing, I understand why it's political in nature. You're dealing with, and people always ask me, well, Rob, why do you bring this up? The fact is that Larry Ellison is a supporter and an advisor to President Trump. And so you can't remove that from the equation of what they're doing. I mean, they've already made significant changes at CBS, and they've already done things like Stephen Colbert has been fired. So there is a political, there's political things happening here that are not happening on the Netflix side. That alone gives me pause. And I wonder, and then you have foreign money like Saudi Arabia that's going to help prop up. I don't know if that's still going on, but they were talking about getting that money to complete this. That's troublesome as well. When our media is beholden to foreign powers and foreign money in terms of, I mean, that, and again, as I'm saying, I'm no expert, but that gives me pause. And I think that, look, with Netflix and Warner Brothers, it's all about showtime, folks. It's about entertainment. But the other side is not just about entertainment. And that is problematic, I think. And that's what I have. That's all. I'm not an expert. I can wax rhapsodic about Star Trek all day long. But this is something, I just see that there's 2 different agendas at play here. One of the agendas has a political bent to it and shaping our news and shaping the political opinions of the nation. And that is not what Netflix and Warner Brothers is all about. There is an element of that in Paramount acquiring Warner Brothers.
I think there's an element, but I'll be honest with you, I've never thought it was that big of a one. And the reason being is they could have bought CNN for literally 2%.
They could have.
Because remember, Warner Brothers' plan was to spin off CNN and sell it separately. If all the Ellisons wanted, I'm not saying they didn't want CNN. I'm just saying if their big thing was to get control of these legacy media networks, they could have gone, great. Warner Brothers is going to sell them off. We'll buy them for $2 billion instead of $110 billion. And we call it a day. So considering it only represents 1% to 2% of what they actually spent, I don't know that it was that big of a factor in it.
I don't either. I'm just saying that there's elements of that we've already seen manifest in what they're doing
Oh,
already.
sure, but that's separate from this.
Sure,
I mean, I don't like what they're doing at CBS either.
I mean, but it's just
fascism.
interesting. I just don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of what they plan to do with Warner Brothers.
Right, but aside from how you feel about it, the question at hand is what we think of Zaslav's comments and how do we think, if at all, does that change the way we see the ability for Paramount to actually close this deal?
Well, I think Zaslav is telling us that it's not a done deal. I think Zaslav's saying, let's wait and see.
You think that's what he's kind of
Let's
hinting?
see what
he's
happens.
tipping the hand a little bit?
I don't think he's tipping the hand. I think he's just being low key. What is going to happen is que sera, sera, and he's gonna, but he's gonna sit back. He's no dummy, and I think that he's looking. His position is one of strength, I would say, and he sits back and watches. He's going to watch what happens.
Yeah.
You are. Zaslav and the WB board are in a position that they are in the ultimate position of strength because they don't have to sell.
Yeah.
They're selling because it's appealing, but they don't have to. And that's a strong position to be in.
Yeah, there's a lot of time between now and ratification of this.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And
Tons.
a lot can happen.
By the way, I was going to say, like, ratification, not just because of the procedural things, but by the way, Warner Brothers shareholders have not yet voted on this.
Well, and I wonder if
they'll probably go along with what Warner Brothers board says, but Warner Brothers shareholders could absolutely go, no, we don't want this deal. And if they do, that kills it.
the money's great, but if we start seeing a bleeding off of talent at Warner Brothers, then the shareholders might think, well, we're holding a dead cat here then, if that happens. So,
So, I mean, we'll have to see how this all kind of works out. Again, I think this will all close and everything. I just thought Zaslav's comments were very interesting, given that they just announced the deal and he was talking to his own employees. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? David Zaslav is saying very casually to his own staff, the deal may not close, and if it doesn't, we get $7 billion and we get right back to work. Like, shouldn't you be selling this? Anyway, whatever you guys think about this, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.